So, starting from where we left off, is the topic 1.5, which is exactly describes the process of financial planning as to how an advisor should go about from establishing a relationship with the client, then moving on to getting his data, making a plan, executing the advising, and then executing the plan, and regular monitoring of the client and the investment portfolio, etc. So the first, it is a six-step process as per the book, but in general, you can say there each step has its own time horizon. Like each step takes different amount of time, and uh, as a junior or as someone fresher, you might be uh, given more time to analyze uh, the financial status of the client and make the financial plan and recommend products, recommend investment products to the client. As you grow and move higher up the ladder, you will be interested with meeting the client, getting all the client data, building the relationship with the client, and then final advisory. Uh, that's how the career progression in wealth management and financial planning takes place. But here are more or less the 6 points that are quintessential for a financial planning process. First is establishing and defining the relation with the planner, uh, client and planner relation. So, first time you meet the client, you get to know about the client, what are his goals, and next up is you gather the client's data. First, you establish a formal relation with the client, and then you start gathering the client data, uh, his incomes and expenses, his assets and liabilities. Then comes the goals. So, what goals does the client have that he wants to achieve? And then you might have to say that some things are achievable, some things are non-achievable. What's his attitude is towards the risk? What his uh, time horizon is? What prior experience of investments does he has? Then, after you get the data, you analyze the data and evaluate it to get to know what is feasibility of the goal achievement, how much to achieve that goal, what is required, if there is any need for extra saving over and above what the client is able to save on his own, what financial products should we recommend, and what should be the ideal asset allocation for the client depending on his risk. You develop that plan and then present that plan to the client. While presenting, he might have certain questions like why should I invest that much amount in equities? What is the risk and return of certain asset classes? So you will have to practically explain the client why you have chosen this fund over other fund, and etc. things that the client has. This step also helps build the trust with the client as to why you're recommending it, and etc. things. Then after you have advised the client, and you have been advised, and the client wants you to not do something or to do something extra. After recalibration of it, then you finally get a go ahead from the client and implement the financial planning recommendations that you have made. Uh, After the recommendations, you quarterly or at least quarterly, generally you monitor those investments, and how is the client doing? Is he able to save up the extra things? Did he get the bonus? So a regular checkup is required, which helps you as a planner do your duty well and help client actually achieve his goals. This is the six-step process, and it is highly tested in the exam as well. Now comes the final part of the chapter, financial advisory and execution. So, this is a little regulatory thing that in your advisory capacity, you will be advising products to the client. As per SEBI, if you are an advisor, you cannot get money from the product seller. Like if I'm recommending, let's say XYZ mutual fund to my client, and I'm also executing the trade for him, then I shouldn't be getting any commission or any proceeds from the broker. Like let's say I have recommended some A fund to my client that is executed on broker B's platform. The B might earn, but you as an advisor would not receive anything from B. That's conflict of interest in regulatory terminology. So the conflict of interest arises because the extra fees from the distributor might be the reason for your temptation or your pushing certain product over other products to your clients, which creates a conflict of interest. And SEBI is totally against such practices. So SEBI has given three different uh, uh, revenue streams, three different revenue models to advisors working in the financial advisory space. First is fee only financial planner and advisor. So you advise the client and you take a fixed amount from your client, which is one time or on the ongoing basis, like let's say 500 per visit and let's say 1,000 per annual review. It can also be charged on asset, like 1% of the asset under advisory, etc. Uh, in general, fee-based stream is most preferred one because it eliminates conflict of interest and the client knows how much he has to pay upfront or in any future meet, which helps also establish trust with the client, which is also in compliance with the regulations and is one of the most prominent in the industry. Then there is execution only service. So you only make the you only advise him with the plan, and most of the things are execution only. Like you don't give much of the recommendations, you just execute, and the income comes from the commission from selling the product rather than advising itself. Their incomes come from commission of selling products. So you don't charge for the advisory, but you charge for the commission. You get your income from the commission by selling the product. This is also used many a times, but also has conflict of interest in it because the product itself might not be your own and of the third party, uh, and it is something to be avoided. But this model also is prevalent in the industry and is okay to be used, but the disclosure should be given upfront to the client that how is he being charged. Then the final type of model is wrap and platform fees. Sometimes there are technology-based advisory solutions that are standardized for executions. Like we have our FIDA app. So when you go into the app, you are charged certain amount of fees for the plans that we have. These are standard solutions. So even if you have 10 lakhs or 1 lakhs, uh, depending on the bracket, you will be charged the same amount, which is upfront. Is a then you also have standardized model portfolios like uh, here is a let's say the advisory platform has a portfolio for a 5-year portfolio of high risk. So this is a model portfolio that he has pre-made, but that can then be modified with the requirements of the client. Let's say a client comes, he already has 10 or 12 companies in his portfolio, and then there is a standardized model portfolio provider. He reviews the portfolio and then sees that 10 of out of 12, let's say 8 of the companies are very good and can be kept, the other 4 needs to be cut off, and the proceeds and the extra investments needs to be made in other companies that there are in the model portfolios. So the fees is charged on the basis of that. This is an extra thing that they may enable the advisor to assist the client using platform to sell financial advice to such clients and charge a fee and share it with the platform provider. Sometimes there are like the brokers have sub brokers. Now they are called APs, but let's say some app has some of distributors. So the distributors get them on board, and then the app charges the fees, but the commission is also received by the person who gets the person on board. So this is over and all our chapter. Uh, this is a very basic chapter, and it's the starting point of the course. So I want you to go through the chapter book, read it, try and understand it, because this is a very practical chapter and it's the beginning point of the whole course. Also, if you like, you can go to question bank and do certain questions. You will also be having tests, and that's up from my side. If you have any doubts, we can take it up in our section.